coming to town, I'd go, and he ran the gambling joint. He had watches up his arm.
Let me get you right.
I got, sure, man. I got.
Oh, you doing your video?
I'm just real quick. Harold Clark, award winner. Bill Summers. Oh, come on, man. You are the man. You know what I mean? And the Love Doctor hanging out with us. Slab one. I tell you, man, hey, it's a pleasure. Man, look. DJing, I mean, they call it the box. Yeah, they call it the box. Call it what you want.
Jam.
Oh man, all of them, the whole album. I used to just let it run. Serious, that's how it was, man. That's why I said it's a pleasure to meet you. And you know, hey, what you got connected with New Orleans like that? Just real quick, cause I always see your name. Really?
I mean, my family's from Louisiana. I was not born here. I was born in Detroit. But my great grandfather, I can go back to the 1700s here.
Wow.
My family is from a plantation, the Ashland Plantation on the River Road.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Let me give you some information. My great uncle was a guy named Duncan Kenner. He was in the legislature on the Confederate side. I think he was a signer of the Confederate Constitution. His father, William Kenner, was his business, Kenner Company, was one of the first businesses to use steamships going up and down the Mississippi River. This was my great uncle, William Kenner.
Wow.
The city of Kenner, Louisiana, is named after that family. Okay, my great grandmother had 7 kids by George Kenner, who owned about 400 slaves. Okay, on the river. She had 7 kids by him. Wow. And she actually, he married a white woman and he had to get rid of the black family. So he sold my great-grandmother and her kids to his brother Duncan. She had stashed enough money to buy her freedom and several of the kids. She moved to St. Louis, became a successful businesswoman, came back and bought the rest of them, and had 1 kid left who I was named after, Bill Kenner. And he was such a valuable jockey and trainer for Duncan, who owned most of the racetracks around here and had the biggest horse stable. And he wouldn't let him go. So they made a deal. And they said, look, you give me, she wanted to give him $2,500 for Bill. He wanted 34 because he was more valuable than he had ever been. So they struck a deal. So he said, give me the money. Bill will stay for 3 years, $15 a month. That'll pay the difference. And she said, cool. But before the 3 years was up, she died. And Duncan went to St. Louis and claimed her estate and brought them kids back into slavery. A few months later, one of the kids became, Alexander Kenner became a legal adult. And the slaves had rights. And one of the rights they had was to sue, if you didn't believe it or not. He sued his uncle and won, and got his mother's estate back and freed Bill. But Bill couldn't go nowhere because he had 16 kids.
Right.
And my grandmother was one.
Wow.
Okay,
Man.
so my history go back a long way.
Bill Summers.
I had the pleasure of hearing that history at Ashe Cultural Arts Center.
Well, now we know.
Hey, that's history.
Yeah, that's real history.
That's real.
Man, I just thought the music, I thought you liked our music and you would be down there just to play, in the clubs and all,
my
but
blood and sweat and tears is
right
I've
here.
gone to that plantation house where my great-grandmother had them kids.
Yeah.
And sat in every room, from the attic to the bottom.
That's off of River Road, right up there. I know.
Look at Google it.
Yeah, but that's right around my house. I stay in St. Charles Parish, so I think it's right there. Bill Summers.
I got 3 bricks. They gave me 3 bricks off the side of the plantation.
Yeah.
And then there was an archaeological dig there, and PBS did a PBS special, and I was in it representing the black side of the Kenner family.
Wow.
And there's a woman who had done the dig, this white woman. I had to go back and forth and visit and, blah, 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 and they filmed the thing and so forth.
Yeah.
And one day she said, come with me. I went to the back. The kitchen is not inside the plantation house. They have a house for the kitchen. So the brothers would burn that sucker down. So they put the kitchen and a separate house.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
So, well, even it was dangerous to have the kitchen in the house because the place could burn down.
Right, right.
So, at any rate, we go to the back of the kitchen and she said, see all these artifacts and stuff, were all tagged. And she said, these were from my archaeological dig under your great-great-great-grandparents' slave cabin. And she said, take what you want. So I got a whole, I was like, pulleys and handles from this and
piece of real
just
family history, yeah.
Some shit. I have that shit on an auction.
Yeah. Well, hey man, thanks for that, man. Bill Summers. Hey, now we gotta take a picture. Thank you, Harold. Oh, yeah, I know. It's Look at that. Nah.